Hello, my name is Ivo and I'm a postgraduate student at the University of Sunderland. The following video consists of element 2 of my human resource reflective project. The focus of this element is to reveal how I have developed as a researcher and how I am developing and becoming a researching professional by exploring myself through the use of reflexivity. At the beginning, I'll show you the theoretical framework I have used in the form of a pyramid. After, I will guide you through the steps of the pyramid from the base in the form of some lyrics across with my results from the Honey and Mumford Learning Styles questionnaire, and I will also include my results from my emotional intelligence test. At the end, I will discuss my findings from the Johari window and I'll critique my experience to date as a researcher and give implications for the future in terms of how I can improve and what I would have done differently. So yeah, let's get started. So this is the framework of my reflection. I have used this pyramid from Hunt 2006 and Heron. On the left side you can see Heron's classification of knowledge, and on the right side you can find the parts added according to Hunt. With the help of this pyramid, I want to reflect on my basic values and assumptions across what shapes me as an individual and my actions, which is the private part. Um, After that, I'll discuss the part which is accessible to other people, my speaking and my doing, by using different tools which you can find on the right side. So let's begin with the first part. These lyrics are from an extract of a song. The song is called Return to Innocence and is performed by Enigma. You can find the full link of the song underneath the lyrics. I like this song as it has some really positive lyrics, especially in the part which states, "Just look into your heart, my friends, that will be the return to yourself." In my opinion, this song is a strong reminder to continually reconnect with our inner selves and reflect on our experiences, emotions, inner strengths and talents. I usually listen to this song when I have to reflect on certain experiences that have shaped my life in one way or another, as I've known the song for many years and I have never got bored of it. I know that I'm a reflective person, so sometimes I have to stand back and reflect on new situations, as I tend to be a perfectionist. So that is an aspect that makes me stand back really. This song describes the tendency that I need some time to reconsider things, and I don't always agree with what other people think, as I tend to be skeptical and I like to reflect on things first before being judgmental. This slide consists of my results from the Honey and Mumford's Learning Style questionnaire. The results provided me with an insight of the way I learn, act and reflect on things. As you can see, I only extracted the results which are relevant for me. I don't have a strong preference for my learning style, but I have a moderate preference for the activist, reflector, and theorist learning styles, and I have a low preference for the pragmatist approach. Now, it surprises me that I have a moderate preference for the active learning style. However, after reflecting on this, I realized that I'm a person who reflects on things before I start, as I need a theoretical background. But once I get that, it's quite easy for me to repeat these actions in an active form. In other words, if I do things for the first time, I need some time to get used to them. But once I gain enough experience, I can definitely be more active. When it comes to the Honey and Mumford's learning style chart, my preference indicates that I have a quiet, balanced learning style, which I agree with. And as I mentioned earlier, the reflective part is the strongest part of my identity. Even if that's a positive trait, I'm personally not very emotional, so I believe that could be also a potential obstacle for me. When I'm present in a first time situation, I get nervous and feel like withdrawing from it just to reflect on it. Sometimes my thinking overwhelms me and makes it impossible to act directly. Um, and yet, seeing that I have other preferences I could improve on, that is something that I would like to develop on for the future. As you can see, I have attached the results of my emotional intelligence test, which are very broad and hardly visible unfortunately. I do apologize for that. As this test took a while to complete and provided me with a really extensive feedback, I only mentioned that my score on this assessment is satisfactory, but there's definitely room for improvement. Overall, I have shown that I am adequately skilled in understanding and dealing with emotions, but I need to further develop those skills. The feedback also stated that awareness is the key to helping me find the motivation to improve in this area. and knowing which areas I mostly need to develop in. I agree with that, as stated in element 1, as I don't tend to be very emotional and expressive in general. So as you can see, I've used the Johari window. In order to complete it, I asked a friend that I've known for a long time, along with my ex-girlfriend. As funny as it sounds, yeah, we still keep in touch and we're friends. So I did ask them to fill out a questionnaire for me, which I also completed myself. The questionnaire contained various adjectives which people were meant to tick off. Uh, and they are meant to obviously tick off the ones that match my personality. And here are the results. So the top left corner shows adjectives we all ticked. The left bottom corner shows adjectives that only I ticked, but it seems that my friend don't think they correspond with my personality. Right top corner shows adjectives my friends think that suit my personality, and the right bottom corner indicates adjectives that no one ticked, which are not supposed to reflect me at all. And generally speaking, I do agree with the results. I don't really consider myself as a religious person. I think that it's possible to talk for hours, as obviously this window has a lot of adjectives which indicate different behaviors. But first of all, I was surprised that people agreed with me that I'm organized and logical. Most of the times I feel like I try to be organized, but it doesn't work out all the time, and I would not call myself logical, especially as a researcher. Then people said I'm caring and giving, but to be honest, I never really think about it, as I don't expect anything in return. Uh, when it comes to being independent and knowledgeable, yeah, that's definitely due to my experience living, working, and studying abroad. I think that these results kind of relate to the ones that I acquired from the Honey and Memphis Learning Style questionnaire, which is good. I was definitely comfortable and confident during the year, and it was interesting that no one ticked nervous. Although I'm often nervous, but I'm good at distracting myself from that emotion, which is brilliant, as it doesn't affect me as a researcher, as I prioritize what's more important and I don't let moods or emotions affect it. And obviously, as the emotional intelligence test indicated, I'm not amongst the most emotional people. This slide focuses on some questions which relate to my development as a researcher and how I'm planning to develop to become a researching professional on the basis of the findings in the previous slides. So the first question asks whether I can cope with other learning styles. As I already said, I'm a reflective person, so I like to think things through. I like to think through my own ideas and make use of my own initiative as well. I think that this is something that I should definitely work on in order to become a better researcher in future. As it was mentioned when discussing my findings from the Honey and Mumford Learning Style Questionnaire, I find it hard to immediately adapt to new learning styles or situations, as I tend to overthink new unknown experiences, which make me worry at the beginning, but after I clearly understand their purpose, I can get used to them. The second question focuses on what I would have done differently when conducting my MRR research and why. As it was seen in the Johari window, the findings of the question has indicated that people believed more in my abilities than I did in myself, which is an indicator that although I tend to be confident, I also tend to underestimate my true potential, which makes me not give 100% of myself when I have to adapt to a new learning style to do a research with. I can relate this to the research I did in my MRR project as well, as it took me a while to develop the questionnaire I used to obtain data for my research. I would have possibly tried and spent more time on recording more than a few interviews to gain a better understanding of it if it was more organized, if I was more organized, as the project itself was of very great importance to my degree. The third question asks whether I've increased my self-awareness after reflecting on myself as a researcher. Yes, definitely. I mean, first of all, if I was more conscious of my strengths indicated by the findings from my friends in the Johari window and the learning style questionnaires, I might have had an advantage of my active learning side, and I could have had a better result on my pragmatist side as well. This could have made me less cognitive when facing new projects and conducting research on them, as in the case of my MRR project. I would like to conclude this presentation with Einstein's quote which states, "Without deep reflection one knows from daily life that one exists for other people." I've used it as I believe that it describes really well how each step has helped me complete the whole picture of my own reflection. So yeah, thanks very much, and I hope that you've enjoyed this presentation. Thank you.